Hey, what's up? It's your girl Neek, and you're tuned in to Neek at Night. And tonight we're going to be talking about these genetically modified salmon fish. Now, the FDA has recently approved these fake modified fish to be consumed by us Americans, and they do not have to list that they are fake on the label. Now, this was first approved and okayed in Canada, and it's now in the shelves of stores in Canada without a label telling you that it is fake. But now the FDA has approved it for it to be okay in America, which is just a whole lotta. I feel like it's completely wrong to mislead people and put a fake product on the shelf that you genetically mutated together and pass it off as the real thing without the person knowing. But hey, they've been doing shady stuff to our food for quite some time. All of these, chickens and all of these stuff have, all of these hormones injected to them. And it's kind of been going on, but now they're taking it a step further. And this is the first genetically modified to where they completely created the DNA or the makeup of this totally falsified fake fish. This is the first one to be approved for consumption for people to eat. All the other stuff, it's like, put a little hormones, beef it up, put a little steroid. But this is a whole mutated thing that they're like, okay, now this is cool for people to eat. And we don't even got to tell them that they're eating fake stuff. All they're happy about is that they can get a fish to be way, way bigger, faster with less food. And it don't even matter what the long-term effects might be. When I think of genetically mutated and made up stuff and then people are consuming it, I think later down the line, we're going to see some Walking Dead type stuff happening. And that's just where my brain goes with it. Like anytime they try to genetically modify, mutate stuff, it just normally does not have a good after all side effect. But hey, this is what they're approving. This is what they're pushing, and we shall see what happens. I mean, I predict, Walking Dead type Dr. Jekyll and Mr. Hyde type stuff. But hey, they feel like this is the new wave. This is the new movement. So all of you guys who eat fish, eat salmon, beware that you possibly are eating a fake genetically mutated one. And, you will never know because they don't have to label it. But here is the video on this news station talking about it and bringing everybody up to speed on what to expect with this new fish.
Raised for use as food. The goal? To raise salmon that require fewer resources, but some critics are demanding the fish never be sold in the U.S.
The ABC 7 team went inside the Midwest farm where this futuristic food is coming to life. Investigative reporter Chuck Gowdy has the story tonight. Chuck?
Chances are most Americans are already consuming futuristic foods. Genetically modified crops were introduced into our food supply in the 1990s. Aqua Bounty, the biotechnology company that created this new designer salmon, predicts a future of even more genetically modified animals in the food supply. With production now underway in the U.S., the company looks to win public approval. Deep in the heartland, in a small town about 10 miles northeast of Muncie, Indiana, is this not-so-typical farm. Inside these buildings, salmon are growing. They are the first bioengineered animals in the United States approved for human consumption.
Obviously don't touch the fish.
Aqua Bounty, the biotech company that owns and runs this 40-acre complex, takes the I-team inside the operation. Security and sanitation safeguards required as each building is entered and exited. Under strict guidelines, live fish can never leave this farm because of fears they could damage the wild salmon population.
Sign into that book, please.
The imported salmon eggs coming from Canada have to clear U.S. Fish and Wildlife Service inspections at Chicago O'Hare Airport. When the I-team visited the farm last month, thousands of eggs from the first batch were springing to life.
There's about 8,000 in here.
This product, called Aqua Advantage, is Atlantic salmon modified with DNA from Chinook salmon and a fish called an ocean pout. The result, according to the company, a fish that can be eaten sooner because it grows faster, reaching roughly 10 pounds in 18 months. Right now, conventional salmon are giving the farm 70,000-gallon tanks a test run until the GMO fish are ready to move in.
Our fish was really designed for land-based farming.
Aqua Bounty CEO Sylvia Wolf says the patented fish is nearly identical to Atlantic salmon with the exception of one gene. She says it's safe to eat, good tasting, requires less feed, and fewer resources. and will help ease overfishing of wild salmon.
We're all about transparency. We want consumers to know where their food came from and how it was raised.
The FDA regulates genetically modified animals as drugs. The agency has determined the Aqua Bounty salmon is safe to eat. The U.S. Department of Agriculture is in charge of labeling. Mandatory compliance for labeling in the U.S. doesn't start until 2022, although the fish could be for sale here by 2020. Those disclosures do not have to be stamped on the packaging. They can be included in a code that must be scanned by a shopper's phone to find out if the product is bioengineered or contains bioengineered ingredients, which advocacy groups say could be confusing.
We would like it to be clear on the packed labeling and on your restaurant menu if the company is able to hide the fact that if it's selling genetically engineered fish, that's a problem.
Wolf telling the I-Team her company plans to voluntarily put bioengineered food labeling on its packaging starting in 2020 and will work with food suppliers to ensure the origin of the fish is clear to the public. The Center for Food Safety, an industry watchdog group, is asking U.S. retailers to pledge not to sell the fish, and along with other organizations is suing the FDA, challenging the agency's authority to approve GMO animals for use as food.
We have a lawsuit that says, among other things, that FDA doesn't have the legal authority in the first place to approve the fish.
In a court filing, the FDA maintains its authority to approve the fish, but the agency declined to comment on the litigation. Aqua Bounty expects restaurants and food service companies to be the first to serve up its patented catch.
We've now paved the path for other bioengineered animals.
Even though the company plans to encourage food suppliers to be upfront about the use of the bioengineered salmon, the disclosure rule doesn't apply to restaurants or food service venues, which means you could order the altered salmon in a U.S. restaurant and not know it. Aqua Bounty expects the salmon now being raised here to be on the market later next year. Chuck Gowdy, ABC 7 Eyewitness.
All right, so what do you guys think about this genetically modified fish that, you know, they're already eating it in Canada? I watched a couple other videos on this and, you know, there was activists who were outraged about it. They already have it, like I said, on the market out there, and now they're bringing it on the market out here. This is something that they started, I want to say 20 years ago, and now it's finally approved by the FDA to eat it. You know, they have this farm that is on land where they have this facility where they're mutating these and they're in America, but America didn't approve to eat it first. Now America has approved to eat it first and it's gonna be on the market. When I hear stuff like this, I think about how beefed up them chicken sandwiches are at Popeyes that everybody is eating, and it just makes my head hurt. These days, you know, we got to go back to how it was originally when everybody grew their own food, raised their own chickens and all of that. That way, you know, it's legit. But we shall see what will happen. You know, I don't know. But all right, guys, that's all for this video. Stay tuned for more celebrity news and gossip. But in order to do that, be sure to hit that like and subscribe button right now. Don't wait. Do it right now. All right, guys. Peace.